Winter is coming to Athens. The election recount in Florida could take even longer. And in sports, Ohio football will kick off in a few minutes. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Though this fall has been unseasonably warm, colder temperatures are here. Good evening, I'm Caitlin Coolidge. Thanks for joining us. Athens and the surrounding area will be under a winter weather advisory from midnight tonight until 11 a.m. tomorrow. The advisory is in parts of southeast Ohio as well as central and northern West Virginia. Snow accumulation up to an inch is expected in addition to icy conditions. The Ohio Department of Transportation has spent the day preparing for tomorrow's winter conditions. The department inspected trucks and filled them up with salt. Forecaster Adriana Davies has more details on the season's first wintry blast.
Under this winter weather advisory, which is going to remain in effect from midnight tonight until 11 a.m. tomorrow. And our main concern with this is freezing rain and ice. Our low temperatures are going to sit right around 30 to 32 degrees, which are going to keep that rainfall, that freezing rain, ice, or sleet, and maybe even some snow mixed in. It's just going to be a wintry mess. We can expect some slippery roads with that as well, so that rain is going to start to move into the area right around 4 a.m. into the morning hours. So our morning commute is going to be a wet and slippery one. So keep that in mind as you head out the door. Give yourself plenty of time and take it slow tomorrow morning. Our expected snowfall accumulation is less than an inch, so we don't have to worry about too much snow, but our main concern is that ice. Like Caitlin said, over in Jackson, 0.17 of an inch of ice, and in Athens even less than 1/10 of an inch. It doesn't seem like much ice, but that definitely will make a huge difference as we head out the door tomorrow. So like I said, keep that in mind. Give yourself plenty of time in the morning. I know ODOT is out working on getting the roads prepped for this, and we'll keep up with that throughout the evening tonight as well. As for our overnight, hour by 8 p.m., the clouds will start to move in. By midnight, we'll see 32 degrees. Slight rain chance begin to increase. Our clouds will persist throughout the evening, keeping that low temperature right at that 32-degree mark. And by 4 a.m., our freezing rain chance will start to increase at 50%. So like I said, by 5 o'clock in the morning, we should see our highest chance for precipitation. That freezing rain and ice and sleet mix will make for a messy morning. So just can't stress enough to keep yourselves safe as we move out the day tomorrow. I would not be surprised if we do see delays for some of the schools in the area, or even a cancellation or two, Caitlin.
That's a good point. All right, thank you, Adriana. Ohio University has reached a settlement in the sexual misconduct case of a professor. Two graduate students, Susanna Hempstead and Christine Adams, filed litigation after the university found they endured sexual harassment by English professor Andrew Escobedo. Accusations were raised in 2017, and Escobedo has been criminally charged of any wrongdoing. The university says it committed to responding to incidents of sexual assault, violence, and harassment. The former mayor of Coolville has been charged with 2 felonies. 47-year-old Teresa Holsinger was indicted a couple weeks ago by the Athens County Grand Jury for theft in office and tampering with records. Holsinger served as mayor and mayor's court clerk. Prosecutor Keller J. Blackburn says Holsinger failed to report money paid to the village of Coolville, canceled documents, and used the money for personal expenses. These events allegedly occurred between November 2014 and September of this year. Holsinger is set to be arraigned on December 12th. George Wagner, the man connected to the murders of 8 members of the Roden family in Pike County, is returning to Ohio. Wagner was arrested yesterday in Kentucky and will be returning to Ohio to face charges of aggravated murder. Authorities are starting the process of returning Wagner to Ohio. Now, a look back at the past 2 years and how the Pike County murder case has evolved.
It was April 22, 2016, when the small town of Piketon was shaken. 8 members of the Roden family were found murdered, many of them execution style, in their homes.
The specific threat, again, I believe, without a doubt, is the Roden family.
Investigators found commercial marijuana growing operations at several of the murder locations. And next to 19-year-old Hannah Roden's body was her 4-day-old daughter. unharmed. In May 2016, we learned that the trailers where the murders took place were moved to a storage facility to preserve evidence. In August 2016, during a court hearing, Pike County Sheriff Charles Reeder reveals a theory that it's likely more than one shooter was involved. Then, in October 2016, during an exclusive interview with 9 on Your Side investigative reporter Hillary Lake, Sheriff Reeder says it's likely the killers were local.
You're saying that the suspects likely either live in Pike County or in the area somewhere nearby?
Yes, that is my belief.
100% certainty.
That's my belief.
In June 2017, Attorney General Mike DeWine asks for the public's help. Investigators wanted specific information about 4 members of another family, the Wagners. Jake Wagner and Hannah Roden had a child together. And at some point after the murders, several members of the Wagner family moved to Alaska. In November 2017, trailers from the crime scene were moved a second time to preserve evidence. And in August of 2018, SWAT vehicles were seen at a farm owned by Wagner family members. Lisa Smith, 9 on Your Side.
The Libertarian Party of Ohio says it will sue the state if it is decertified as a minor political party. Ohio Secretary of State John Husted says the Libertarians lost ballot access because their candidates received less than 3% of the vote needed to remain a recognized party. If Libertarians lose state recognition, they will have until 125 days before the 2020 election to submit roughly 43,000 signatures and have their candidates on the ballot. Kent State University students are challenging the school over a security fees lawsuit. Kent State requested $1,800 from a student group to afford security for a gun rights advocate speech. The student group planning a speech next Monday is challenging Kent State's policies on security fees, arguing they violate their freedom of speech. Federal Judge John Adams granted a temporary restraining order on the university. Police say a hoax led to the lockdown of a hospital in Northeast Ohio. Law enforcement was called to the Cleveland Clinic Medina Hospital yesterday. A text alert was sent out reporting an active shooter situation. According to Medina police, they received a report that a woman with a gun was threatening individuals. Multiple employees at the hospital said they were told it was not a drill and to turn off all the lights in the rooms and silence their cell phones. Officers searched each floor in the hospital before determining the building was safe.
We searched the hospital room by room, floor by floor, and determined that there was no suspect that was armed. We did not locate that, and we believe it was a false complaint.
Police determined no shots were ever fired. Local school officials in West Virginia may get more flexibility over how to discipline their students. The state education department says it recommends county school boards, principals, and other leaders should determine different levels of student misbehavior. State education board policy outlines cheating is a level 1 misbehavior, while nicotine possession is level 3. Customers of Appalachian Power and Wheeling Power could see an increase in their electric bill. Customers using 1,000 kilowatts per hour per month could see an increase of about $5. The two electric companies requested $44 million from the Public Service Commission, which is down from the $115 million they requested in May. This rate increase would generate a 3% revenue boost for the companies. Congress has new faces and new leaders. And with the Florida recount deadline fast approaching, boards of elections are scrambling to meet it. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
This is what we've all been waiting for. The postseason is finally here. Many teams that made it this far are ready to rock.
Yeah, it's win or go home for the guys on the gridiron, but Gridiron Glory still has a few more weeks before we end our season.
Yeah, we'll have you covered through week 13, and there's still football to be played until then.
Our social media team will have you covered. Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and YouTube content will keep you up to date.
So, through all the excitement, remember there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
I'm such a huge fan of PBS. For my entire life, it's been our window into a world of the arts that isn't available anywhere else on TV. We learn about our numbers and our letters and singing through music, through the incredible children's programming they have. And then we grow up and we get to see the world of the arts, whether it's ballet or opera or Broadway, and so many other amazing moments that you wouldn't get anywhere else except for PBS.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
The newly elected members to the U.S. House of Representatives and Senate have arrived in Washington for orientation, and the group includes a record number of women to win seats in the House, but there are some key races, like the Florida Senate race, that are still undecided. Kelly Smoot has the report from Washington.
There are lots of new faces.
You know, I have butterflies, but I'm excited.
And a couple of old friends.
How are you doing? How are you doing?
All in Washington for congressional orientation.
It's thrilling, absolutely thrilling.
Where the newly elected members of both the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate descend on Washington for training and party leadership elections.
It feels a little bit like you're kind of heading into that first day of school in your classroom.
I've been through a few of these over the years.
Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell welcomed the freshman Republicans. He was also reelected Wednesday as the Senate Majority Leader for the next 2 years.
And we're excited about maintaining our majority and growing our majority.
Here we are in the majority.
On the House side, the Democrats also meeting to decide whether to support Nancy Pelosi as the next Speaker of the House. Pelosi has the support of many longtime representatives.
I support Nancy Pelosi 1,000,000%.
But a number of incoming House Democrats are calling for change at the top.
At this time, Nancy Pelosi does not have my support. We're waiting to see if somebody else is going to emerge to challenge her.
I think it's a new time, and there's been some change, and I think it would be good if we had some change in leadership as well.
And that's all in spite of the fact that some races, like the Florida Senate race between incumbent Senator Bill Nelson and Florida Governor Rick Scott, and a number of House seats, have still not been decided. In Washington, I'm Kelly Smoot.
Congressman Kevin McCarthy was elected House Minority Leader today. The California Republican will lead House GOP members after Speaker Paul Ryan leaves Capitol Hill at the end of his term in January. The vote was overwhelmingly in support of McCarthy, 159 to 43. A host of major Medina media organizations are supporting CNN and White House reporter Jim Acosta. A joint statement was released today, signed by multiple news outlets, including Fox News, NBC, the Associated Press, USA Today, the New York Times, and many others. The statement said White House reporters should never be banned for arbitrary reasons, and they must be free to ask questions. Many of the news outlets that signed the statement also said they will file Friends of the Court briefs on behalf of CNN. The Justice Department says the White House rejects the idea that it can't decide which journalists can be given a permission press pass. In Florida, voting machine problems are endangering the Palm Beach County midterm elections recount. The deadline to retally all the ballots is 3 p.m. tomorrow, but today the county appeared to be making little progress in overcoming technical problems. The election supervisor told reporters last night more than 170,000 early votes had to be counted again. That's because old overheated machines did not properly tally the ballots. Special technicians were flown in to fix the machines. Florida's 67 counties must recount more than 8 million statewide ballots.
And we are talking about this winter weather advisory coming up, and then our next snow chances after that up next in my extended forecast. Now here's a look at stocks of local interest.
Member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
I love PBS because at the heart of everything PBS does is education.
I use PBS not only in my home, but also in my classroom.
It's kind of the idea of being the great equalizer for learning and for education.
I'm a lifelong learner, and PBS has always been part of that journey for me.
I love PBS because PBS supports teachers.
They know what works for kids and what's best for kids, and that's why I love PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
Good evening and welcome back from the break. We are discussing this winter weather advisory going on right now in Athens. If you're just now joining us, this is happening from tonight at midnight until 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Our main concern is freezing rain and ice, and we can expect some slippery roads to start the day tomorrow. So keep that in mind on your morning commute as you head out the door. We're looking at less than an inch of snow, here in Athens. Our surrounding areas may see a little bit more, a little bit less than that, but we will not be exceeding anything more than an inch here in our viewing area. Over in the eastern part of West Virginia, though, they are going to see about 3 inches of snow, so luckily we're staying clear of that. Our main concern, though, is that ice accumulation that we're going to see less than 1/10 of an inch here in Athens, and then we're looking at 0.17 of an inch over in Jackson. So that does not seem like a lot, but it definitely will make a big difference as you head out the door tomorrow morning. So keep that in mind as you head out as well. Give yourself plenty of time in the morning and bundle those little kids up as they head out the door as they get ready for school. Or they may even see a delay or school cancellations. Who knows? Fingers crossed. Do that snow day dance before you head off to bed tonight. Our low in Athens is 30 degrees, as well as Jackson. We're looking at 33 down in Ironton and 28 up in Newark. So these lows are going to stay right around here and maybe even a little bit higher, which is going to make that freezing rain, ice, snow, sleet mix. It's just going to be a wintry mess as we move throughout the evening tonight. We'll see a nasty start to the day tomorrow. Slippery roads, like I said, ice is our main concern. 33 degrees as you head out the door at the bus stop tomorrow with a northeast wind at 0 to 5 miles an hour. So taking a look at the precipcast, we are going to stay dry as we move into the evening. As we get past midnight, though, we'll see this mess of precip move throughout the area. Some freezing rain, snow, regular rain all mixed in for tomorrow. As we move into tomorrow night, another mess of some weather system. It's hard to tell what we're going to see. Like I said, that transition period is what we're looking at. That 30-degree mark is going to make it a little bit tricky to forecast exactly what type of precipitation we will see. And then as we move into Friday, we'll see that weather system start to move out of our area. We should see a dry day on Friday, 38 degrees as our high in Athens tomorrow, 41 down in Ironton, and 37 up in Newark. As for our overnight, or our daytime hour by hour, 33 degrees by 8 a.m., 35 by noon, and by 4 p.m. we'll see 38, but that rain's going to stick around for most of the day tomorrow. Taking a look at our 7-day forecast, we will see a little bit of a warm-up as we move throughout the weekend, which I'm excited about. 46 degrees on Sunday with a slight chance for rain, 41 degrees by Monday, and then we're looking to get up into the 50s again next week. Caitlin.
All right, thank you, Adriana. All right, and from Florida to Washington State, the U.S. has endured one of the worst fire seasons in recent memory this summer. Right now, more than a dozen wildfires are burning in California alone. The blazes have forced more than 20,000 people from their homes, and fire isn't the only threat people face. Kim Hutchinson has information on the dangers of smoke inhalation in today's Health Minute.
When wildfires threaten, it's not just flames that can damage people's health. The smoke can also put people at risk. Smoke from wildfires combines various gases with fine particulates that come from burning matter, trees, plants, and anything else in the fire's path, like building materials. If there's a lot of smoke in the atmosphere, it can make anyone, even healthy people, sick. Breathing it in can affect you immediately. It can impact your respiratory system and your eyes, elevate your heartbeat, even trigger headaches and chest pain. And if you have asthma or chronic heart and lung diseases, smoke from wildfires can make them worse. Children and the elderly are also at special risk. If there are wildfires near you, keep the air inside as clean as possible by keeping windows and doors shut and the fresh air intake on your air conditioner closed. If there are people with risk factors in your home, consider investing in an indoor air filter. And be sure to pay attention to air quality and visibility reports. Heed any advisories from local safety officials and don't delay if you're told to evacuate. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutchinson.
The death toll in California wildfires is now 50, and less than half of the fire has been contained. A new fire started today east of Los Angeles County. Now, let's head over to Joe to see what's coming up in sports.
Yeah, hey there, and after the break, find out who the Ohio volleyball team plays tomorrow in the MAC tournament. And the Ohio women's basketball team plays tomorrow. It's the perfect night to bring your kids to the game as well. See why next on Newswatch.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
I'm such a huge fan of PBS. For my entire life, it's been our window into a world of the arts that isn't available anywhere else on TV. We learn about our numbers and our letters and singing through music, through the incredible children's programming they have. And then we grow up and we get to see world of the arts, whether it's ballet or opera or Broadway, and so many other amazing moments that you wouldn't get anywhere else except for PBS.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
Welcome back. I'm Joe Hennessy. The Ohio volleyball team sits at 12-17, entering the MAC tournament that begins tomorrow. Ohio will be going up against the Northern Illinois Huskies. Bobcats go in as the 7th seed, and IU at the 6th. The Bobcats have won the MAC tourney 9 times, and getting the 10th isn't going to be an easy walk up the block. NIU finished the year with 20 losses, but one of their wins did come over Ohio at the Convo. Tia Jimerson was electric on defense. Lizzie Stevens played consistent. Jamie Kosorik played aggressive last time they were around, but they need more to keep their season alive. Match starts at 7 p.m., and the winner will go on to play the number 3 seed, the Ball State Cardinals. Ohio women's basketball team is also getting some work tomorrow. The team will be battling the 2-1 Binghamton Bearcats at 11 a.m. And that early tip-off means that this is the annual school day game where local elementary students come to watch the Bobcats. Ohio opened up their season with a win over UNCW. Gabby Burris went off for a career-high 23 points and was named MAC East Player of the Week, so she will be under the spotlight in this matchup. Amani Burke scored 20. Demique DeSac finished with 17, and Cece Hooks nearly had a double-double with 16 points and 9 assists. The team will look to those key players to keep their win streak alive, even though, yes, it is just one game. According to the graduation data released by the NCAA today, the Bobcats are getting it done on the field, on the court, and in the classroom. The graduation success rate for GSR for short reached 88%, which is the highest the Ohio athletic program has ever reached since the data formula began in the early 2000s. 13 of Ohio's 16 teams finished in the 2017 fall semester with a 3.0 GPA or higher, and in the spring, 15 teams earned a 3.0 or higher. 119 student athletes finished with a 3.5 GPA or higher. And make sure to tune into Sports Beat tomorrow on 1340 AM WOUB to hear more sports news. Host Lucas Moore and producer Russ Heltman recap the Ohio football season after tonight's game. Plus, they preview the long season ahead for the Ohio men's basketball team and a look at the intensifying high school football playoffs. Whole lot of sports talk, whole lot of predictions and breakdowns, so listen in tomorrow on 1340 AM WOUB starting at 6. It's Wednesday, and we got some action going on tonight at Peden Stadium. The 6-4 Bobcats welcome in the division leader Buffalo. Nathan Rourke, AJ Ouellette, Malik Irons are all going to have to step up for this one. All are having great seasons for the Bobcats, but the Bulls are a different breed in the MAC. Currently sitting at 6-0 in MAC play and 9-0 overall, Buffalo packs a punch every play. Ohio sits as the highest scoring offense in the MAC with almost 40 points a game, but Buffalo is close behind with 37. The scoring defense of Ohio is better than Buffalo's, but only by 1.5 points. Buffalo's offense averages over 460 yards, and Ohio is at 445. It's going to be a MACtion shootout, and we're all here for it. All right, I am Joe Hennessy, and that's it for sports, so back over to you, Caitlin.
All right, thanks, Joe. While we're here gearing up for another winter here in Ohio, check out these kids experiencing the joy of seeing snow for the first time. These African refugee siblings are in Canada, and they've never seen snow before. Toronto resident Rebecca Davies posted the video to social media. She's hosting a family of 5 from the East African country of Eritrea, which has one of the most repressive regimes in the world. The video has racked up millions of views online.
Well, you can't help but smile looking at something like that. But tonight in Athens, 30 degrees. Our low is, like I said, 30 degrees. Freezing rain. It's going to settle in after about 2 a.m. We will see our chances increase for that. We are under that winter weather advisory. I can't stress enough. Keep that in mind as you head out the door tomorrow, starting your day. You're going to see some messy conditions out there on the road. Give yourself plenty of time as you step out the door going to work, school, or anything else you are headed out for, with winds from the northeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour. As for our high tomorrow in Athens, 38 degrees. That wintry mix will continue throughout the afternoon. And taking a look at our 7-day, we will see a little bit of a warm up as we move throughout the weekend. Caitlin?
All right, thank you. Well, that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Caitlin Coolidge. And remember, you can tune into WOUB at any time for the latest news updates. Tune into WOUB.org. Thanks for watching.